This is our story of almost 6 wonderful years together. We met the night of May 2nd, 2015 in a small local bar in Nolita called Mother's Ruin. And the funny thing about it is we actually didn't really speak that much the first night because for whatever reason my friend decided to take lead on courting Whitney. Be that as it may though, when the night came to a close, I ended up walking Whitney home.
And it was a full moon night, and I remember, I'd known you 4 hours, and you stopped and said, hey, stop right there, the lighting's perfect, and you snapped a photo of me, and I thought that was a very sweet and sincere thing, and we still have that photo to this day.
That summer was really fun too because we spent the summer running around the city, trying new bars, restaurants, comedy shows, and no matter what, any late night out, we would always, it was like tradition to grab Ben and Jerry's, and we'd sneak away into these little side parks sprinkled throughout the city and enjoy our ice cream. One of my favorite memories as well is Whitney introduced me to this place called Baz Bagels, and I just remember sitting in the back of this little
That really
cafe.
narrow booth. It was like a retro diner.
Mm-hmm. And we had chocolate and banana pancakes, unlimited coffee, and I just remember having a really good time, and we were both laughing hysterically. And
the other fun thing about that first month and really year was every month on the 7th, which was our anniversary, James would bring me flowers. So 1 month, 1 flower, 2 months, 2 flowers, 3 months, 3 flowers, and so on. All right, 2016. We moved in together in February with Caroline into the West Village. We lived at Hudson and 14th. That was a year of exploring the West Village. Lots of walks at night, during the day, romantic, windy cobblestone streets. We discovered Bar Sardine, which oftentimes we'd walk to in our pajamas with a hot cup of tea, where you had the burger and the Puerta de Sol. We had our trip to Mexico. We went to Isla de Mujeres, which was a lot of fun. James spent all the pesos the first day. Lots of nachos and street food. We brought a tent and we camped on the beach in Mexico and really tried to live a rugged life compared to our West Village existence. And we had our first road trip. We drove from Charleston down to Savannah and kind of really saw all the highlights of low country, lots of oysters and seafood and beautiful sunsets. And we closed out the year with a big sushi dinner.
So in rolls 2017, and that was the first year that Whitney and I traveled across the pond to see my English side of the family, I guess. We got to explore a lot of the fun neighborhoods, Brixton, Chelsea, all the pop-up shops, and the different districts and whatnot. Learned to drive on the wrong side of the road, and somehow, of course, always got stuck in the roundabouts in the worst places. 2017, we also were planning to move to SF, so we moved everything out of our West Village digs, and we decided to sublet a furnished studio on the Upper East Side. It was a tiny apartment with one window facing a brick wall, so naturally we tried to stay out of it as much as possible. That summer, we explored Jackson Hole in Montana, saw friends and family, and filled the other time exploring Central Park, Sheep's Meadows, and spent our weekends messing around climbing trees, bought a fish to have a little bit of life in our apartment, but ended the year on a high note. So also dancing in Miami and smoking Cuban cigars in the Arts District.
2018, we finally made it over to Brooklyn. We lived right across from Lilia, where we would frequent. This was our first time living just James and I in a real place with natural light and all the fixings.
We did Miss Caroline, though.
We did. But I'd say this was kind of the first time where we spent more time, cooking inside, making coffees, making cocktails versus going out. But we explored a lot of the local distilleries that were nearby. We would go to McCarran Park. My favorite thing was Saturday mornings, get the pickles from the pickle guy. And oftentimes we would really just play football in the park and avoid getting recruited by the local leagues.
Mostly me.
Mostly James. And then we had a big family trip with my family to Portugal, which was really fun. Lots of drinking port in the hills, and it's just a really nice kind of family trip.
So 2019 was a big year for both of us. We finally made the move out west. We both got jobs.
Was
in the LA area, which was awesome.
Shout out,
Yeah. And we immediately started kind of doing things that we wanted to do: surfing, motorcycle rides in the backcountry through Malibu and Calabasas, camping in Joshua Tree, sunset bike rides, and we live near a bike path here. It's pretty awesome. Chess and cappuccinos on the weekends.
I still have the winning record, but
That's definitely
unrelated. Keep
a
going.
lie. To cap off a great year, we ended it in Costa Rica and Santa Teresa with some R&R, and we surfed twice a day, went fishing, caught amazing fresh tuna, shared it with the locals, and we explored every possible coffee roastery in sight.
And this happened to be after, 5 years? This was our first solo vacation.
That's true.
This was like almost 2 weeks.
This was by far the most fun.
2020 started off pretty hot. We had some skiing trips in the beginning, some friends visiting. It was a pretty busy first start of the year. And then
Hip Hop Night at the Mangy Moose.
Hip Hop Night at the Mangy Moose, where it all began. And then, COVID, and I think we were fortunate enough to make a great year out of a really unfortunate year for so many reasons. And I'd say, we kind of just started to have the time to do the things we like to do. We went out to Joshua Tree, did a lot of camping. We started to do some rock climbing. We spent 6 weeks this summer just exploring, Jackson, Montana. We spent a week camping down the coast of Oregon, which just, camping at these like remote beach spots under the full moon, making a fire and cooking, and just.
It was like being on another planet.
It was like being on another planet. And then we traveled to the East Coast a little bit in Chicago and saw family, which was great. And then we closed out 2020 hosting our first Thanksgiving with all of our close friends, and
It got pretty lit.
and we I think nobody wants to go back to their own families. I think we'll keep
Tradition.
keep the tradition. And then we closed out the year with a revival of our 2016 sushi extravaganza for New Year's.
6 years later, and we still manage to have just as much fun.
We're ecstatic to announce that we are officially getting married.
Woohoo!
Woo!
See you in New York, June 26, 2022.